Hi, Steve Elliker here, your Living Life on Purpose coach, and I want you to ask yourself this question: do I really need to change? Now, therapists talk a lot about change, changing who you are for the better, and I take issue with the language around this idea of change. After all, you are a unique human being that doesn't need to change, but instead consider being open to a new way of seeing yourself and the world around you. So I titled this video, Do I Need to Change? For this very reason, to create a better understanding about what change means or looks like. The renowned person-centered psychotherapist Carl Rogers said, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." We do need to know that we will need to genuinely accept ourselves for who we are before we can change. I believe acceptance of who we are is fundamental to change. Yet it begs the question, change from what? Into what? Aren't acceptance and change in conflict with each other? Aren't they by definition contradictory? What do we mean by change? I need to change could be read as, if I need to change, there must be something wrong with me. This is a problem, because for many people, this is already a long-held limiting belief. And here's another problem. One thing we absolutely know about the brain, in this case the prefrontal cortex, is it doesn't like change. It's an effective and efficient machine that likes easy, predictable and safe routines and outcomes. So where does that leave us? How could we change who and how we are whilst overcoming the resistance to change? Well, we certainly need the right environment for change, to feel safe, motivated and confident in the process of change. We need to trust that we can hold in our mind those two concepts together, acceptance and change. We mostly do this in partnership with perhaps a close friend, therapist or life coach. But first, let's help us understand this concept of change. Let's be clear about exactly what we mean by change. Now, I would suggest we can do this by using a metaphor and using our imagination. I want you to imagine a tree, any tree, in all its magnificence, a strong root formation and trunk that together feeds the tree, a tree that lives quietly and vigorously despite the prevailing seasons. Now imagine as time goes on, the tree with an abundance of green leaves, but with numerous smaller but dead branches. Imagine that it has ivy growing up large area of its trunk and main branches that are strangling the tree in certain areas, taking important nutrition from this magnificent tree. Now, if this tree was on your land, you might want to take care of this tree, or perhaps you'd rather leave it alone, unaware of the destructive nature of parasitic plant growth around this tree. However, if you wanted to care for this tree, you would probably remove the ivy and prune the dead branches, knowing that in some way this would give areas of the tree more light and a new lease of life, promoting additional growth and foliage. Now, has the tree changed? Is it a different tree? Does it look any different? Does it function differently? No, it's the same tree. It hasn't changed. Yet the obstructive elements are gone, freeing up the tree for new growth. This is how I imagine change within our human brains, the stripping away of limiting beliefs and obstructive negative thoughts, making way for new awareness. Awarenesses that were always there, waiting, but hidden from view. In the same way nature is best managed for health and growth, so too is your brain. The positive parts of us that were once hidden from view can bubble to the surface and come to the fore and into our awareness. And the false parts of us that are designed to adapt to and inauthentically adopt often dysfunctional societal and family ways of being can be revisited and re-examined with a view to change. Negative mindsets and limiting beliefs can be unprogrammed, pruning away the negative, unhelpful patterns of thinking, to be finally become true to ourselves, to be open and straightforward in how we are in the world without knowingly harming others. We can begin to cut away that metaphorical dead wood and cut away and remove the climbing ivy that had a stranglehold on who we already are. The only change is removing harmful, invasive, negative growth. And in removing that invasive growth, we make way for revealing beautiful and awesome hidden parts of ourselves that doesn't represent change, but creates change in how we are in the world. And at the same time is fueling a greater sense of identity that was already part of your unique self. The more we know ourselves, the more we say to ourselves, oh yes, this is me. The more we gain confidence in who we are, the more we become aware of our sense of self and direction, a coming home to ourselves. We haven't changed, but we are changing how we think, feel and behave. We just flow. So I'm the life coach that shows you how to cut away dead wood, shows you how to untangle the strangulating ivy, invites you to prune your magnificent tree to promote new growth with my support and guidance, a partnership to discovering your own wisdom and living your life on purpose.